right, guys, Music Universal Language Podcast. This is the 21st episode. Today I got a guest I met when I was living out in Sonoma County. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Jon Gonzales. What's up, man?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, welcome to Cotati, California.
Cotati, that's where you're at. I couldn't remember. I wasn't sure if it was Petaluma or somewhere over there.
Yeah, it's all the same. But yeah, this is Cotati. We're in the hub of Sonoma County.
Yeah, so how about, there's a lot of, obviously, that was original Mexico out there, and you have Spanish last name. Let's get a brief of, where's the Gonzalez come from? If it's not obvious to, with the red beard, no, I don't know.
Well, first of all, I'm 100% Spanish - Mexican, so,
Oh, really?
And I went to Spain in June. My sister bought me Ancestry.com or Ancestry123 or whatever that is, and I got it back about 2 weeks ago, and it said 46% Spanish, 23% Indigenous Mexico, which is what I knew all along, and I think I'm even like 1% Nigerian. So
there's no Irish, nothing.
No Irish.
Wow.
No
okay.
Irish.
Sorry
and,
for
and
the.
If you sat and you hung out with me at a pub and someone started ordering shots of whiskey or whatever, you would see how non-Irish I am. I would go down in the first shot. I'm in the corner throwing up.
I'm
not
the same
Irish.
way. I can't handle that whiskey, but okay. Well, sorry for any prejudging of red beards and whatnot. That's awesome.
No, it's fine.
That's cool.
When I went to Sevilla and Spain and visited there this summer, all the people are walking around speaking Spanish, and they all look fair skinned like myself, and even light hair and
yeah, I've heard that.
And there's
Spain.
also a few just a little more darker skin than the typical me there. But Spain's really light skin, and so now I guess it makes a thread of sense, because before I just thought I was a complete remember the Misfits from the Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of thing. Like, I'd go to family reunions.
Oh, right.
I go to these huge 850 people gatherings of all my second cousins, third cousins, and close relatives, and I'm the only like white skinned person there, because we're talking. This is more of like a Mexican base, so it's very obvious, to the human eye. And I look like I'm there by marriage or adoption, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm in.
So what do your parents and sister look like?
My sister looks like Jennifer Lopez. I mean, to someone kind of like that. That's
Reference.
The closest celebrity that I could think of that you can.
Yeah, so light skin still, but
my dad looks like me, but he looks a little more Mexican, and my mom is I don't know.
That's a trip, man.
We double check birth certificates, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm here, and
that's cool.
If you saw my dad, you know that I'm his son. So
right, exactly. Well, I guess Spain in reference is like north, compared to like Italy. So like, I just know like Italy, northern Italy, there is more light skin, and then the more south you go, the darker the skin, sort of thing. That's why over here, if you're Spanish descent, south of the border, more is usually more tan, for the most part, I would think. All right. Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into your musical background, man. So, how long you been doing this ukulele thing, or did it start with another instrument, I would assume, maybe? Or
before my existing marriage with the ukulele, which is strong, I was married to my acoustic guitar for 15 years. And I learned music late. Like I was never given lessons when I was a kid or like that. I just watched MTV and made paper guitars and stuff like that. And
you're an avid music fan?
Yeah, just an audiophile, just like yourself.
Right.
And eventually just wanted to play music, and I learned. Finally, I taught myself guitar my last year of college.
Oh, okay.
And I learned in about a year, and it was fun, and I knew chords, and I was singing and having a good time, and it's fun to generate your own music without having any other help, and I never wanted to go to karaoke.
So you started on acoustic.
Wanted to accompany my own voice and stuff, so I did that, and after right around I was in a band, and we had a good time, and hard rock, and I was playing acoustic guitar, kind of a la Dave Matthews style, like with the hard rhythms and And then
Jamming.
I got tired of playing guitar. I felt like I had plateaued in a sense, or it just there was something that wasn't fulfilling my musical. Like felt like there was something better. So I watched Into the Wild, that movie. Do you recall that one?
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Big influence on me.
Sean Penn directed, and Eddie Vedder did the whole
Yup.
soundtrack. And a couple songs he plays on mandolin, I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. Like he's singing and playing, and his mandolin's like super tiny. And I'm not a big frame person myself, so I
Right.
could use just a nice instrument right here.
Yeah.
And the mandolin was like, yes, I would love it. And I asked my wife and my kid at the time, hey, I would love this for my birthday or Christmas. You guys want to give me a mandolin? I'd be all down and stuff. And I got this little package all wrapped up. I'm like, ooh, I got my mandolin. I opened it up, and it was a ukulele.
What? So was it a mistake or?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously $700 cheaper, probably all that stuff. And I started messing around with it. I tuned it and learned how to tune and started messing. And within like 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, oh, this is my baby. Like this is what I needed right here. And
Well, it's in that tone range of a mandolin, but then you already kind of probably knew some chords because it's similar guitar shapes.
Yeah,
chords or whatnot. Yeah,
it's the same formations of chords, just they're off by like I think you can go up 4 or down 5 or whatever. But
you put you put the capo on the 5th fret of guitar, and the bottom 4 strings are ukulele. Yeah,
there you go.
I didn't figure that out till I started teaching someone, and I didn't have my own at the moment.
Yeah, I was like, so the guitar and ukulele are very close.
Totally.
Very close. That's why you see a lot of performers who play guitar nowadays, and they'll bring ukulele out for 1 or 2 songs, and you just know that they were able to probably just gel that into their sound so easily, knowing guitar already.
Well, and man, it's funny. Yeah, you say that Into the Wild soundtrack. I love those Eddie Vedder songs, and the tone of the mandolin and his voice like went really well together. I felt like, and it's all like it's practically like a narrative of the story and whatnot. Yeah. That's a great soundtrack. I don't remember when was that, like 2000.
That was like 2006 or 07.
Oh, okay, even older. Yeah, I thought it was like 07, 08. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was great movie. One of my favorites.
So, yeah, so it's safe enough to say all those years of acoustic definitely made it easier to pick up something like ukulele. But then it's almost like more freedom, like you said, because it's so light. You can kind of just haul it around. And maybe did you find it singing easier? Like, did your vocal range match it a little better?
I found just playing just a simple C chord, and it felt like my voice was able to relax more when it sang. Cool. And I can't even like put it into reason or logic. Like it just was,
Yeah.
And I went with it. And also talking about the toteness, if that's a word, of the ukulele, when you're carrying your instrument around, you can literally take it out in 5 seconds anywhere you are, kind of like a cell phone device. Yeah, you're more prone to be able to entertain yourself at any time. And you write songs. It's like sometimes you're walking down the street, all of a sudden there's this thing that's going through you, and you're like, man, I wish I just need like to sit down by a piano or have a instrument around so I can capture what key that I'm in my brain.
Right.
And ukulele, like if it's on your dashboard while you're driving,
pick it up while you're driving. Drive with your knees.
And I'm still trying to get a ruling from the Sonoma County Police if that's considered distracted driving. Even if you're in a red light, sitting.
Just like I was waiting till it's green, man. Passing time. No, I actually, I got a ukulele about 7 years ago, and that was the best part about it. You could just have it at any time and just pick it up and start strumming, and it's great, definitely great for that. And it has the tone is like still loud enough. It kind of like cuts through in that like higher pitch way, but it's not like a full acoustic guitar sort of tone. But
that's right. And furthermore, this might be important because you're a parent and you have a kid coming up through the system. Yeah. It's replacing the recorder in schools. Remember the recorder? Remember how we used to have to learn that?
Yeah.
Back when we were like 4th grade, it was like, and it sounded awful.
Right.
And now kids can just strum a C chord on a tuned ukulele in the classroom, and they're doing that more and more. It's spreading like.
That's awesome, man. The only I've had few music students, and 2 of them were ukulele, and they were just like they're both I think 7 and 8, and I was just like, you guys should probably start on this because they wanted to learn guitar, and it's just like, you can get a small guitar, yada yada, but play something that's light, 4 strings. You're learning half the shapes. I mean, what the G chord is the D chord shape, all that fun stuff, and
right.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely great for something to learn while you're young, and it's not like it's not something that's as precise as like learning violin or something,
Right.
Classical. You could just pick up and you learn 3 chords and play how many songs, right?
Right, and as long as it's in tune, even if you mess up, if you mess up, if you drop it, if you drop the ukulele on the ground,
Yeah,
it doesn't sound bad. It's all bing. And you've dropped guitars and banjos before on the ground. Like it sounds, everyone in the vicinity just goes, oh, God. Like they look around like their brain is hurt by this sound that they didn't anticipate. But when a ukulele drops, it's almost like welcome. It's like a chime.
like that was a nice C note or whatever. Open C almost. Dang.
Officially, when you drop a ukulele and you're close, Jacob. It hits an A minor 7.
Right, because
so
it's the C with the G
strum on it is an A minor 7.
Or no, yeah, it's a C chord with that E open or whatever. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Yep.
The relative minor of C.
We got jokes. This is being filmed on 420, so things are extra
right on.
Relaxed today. Is it smoke break time yet? No.
Is it? You want to?
Well, before we lose track of thought here, so what about? Okay, so these years of acoustic guitar, were there any like highlights of that? Was it kind of like more of a hobby thing? Were you writing songs much, or?
When I was playing the acoustic guitar back in the day?
Yeah, before you transitioned to the uke.
Or
is it the ook?
No, I was playing solo gigs, and I was with a band. Oh, cool. I was playing music just as much as I do now. It was just a change of instrument, for the most part. I was still playing. It was I wouldn't play as much probably in a sense because my fingers would hurt after
Calluses.
an hour and a half. And I remember playing 3-hour gigs and just like my left hand being so sore and my, where the calluses form, having like just that purple, orange, red, black, blue, all on your fingers at the end of the night. Just go, wow, what did I just do to myself? And totally. With the ukulele, it's like playing top ramen. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
Your calluses are like almost smooth calluses or something. They're like.
Yeah, do you got some good ones there?
I have decent ones. I actually haven't been playing quite as much. I was playing slide yesterday, so. But no, ukulele's pretty sweet, and it has the nylon strings. A little softer on your fingers.
It has nylon strings. You can tune it's GCEA, and you can tune the top string and have a wound string, have a low G. And so it gives it more of a obviously a lower sound, almost like a guitar sound through the ukulele if you bust out the low G instead of the typical high G.
Give it almost like a bassier low G. Well, yeah. I had one around, but I actually broke a string on mine lately, and that's the only, kind of string I've never broke because it's nylon and you got to tie it. And it was like, I always bust out the ukulele in the summer, so it was like at the end of the summer, and I was like, yeah, ukulele's on hold for a while.
Yeah.
Whatever. I have enough instruments to switch between.
Yeah.
All right, so you're still, what are you saying?
Have you ever played a banjo lately?
Oh, for sure. But my banjo really needs a good tune-up, and I need to like watch some videos on how to do the neck to make it like flat, because it's the problem with it now. It's like the notes that sustain after you strum kind of go flat, so it's like it's like God damn it. But it also has like old strings, it needs a whole tune up. But I love playing banjo, open tuning and all that shit. But okay, so do you play the normal size uke, or do you have maybe the soprano version? I think I have
I play all three. I don't know. I don't count the baritone ukulele because that's virtually just a guitar minus 2 strings. But the soprano, the concert, and the tenor, I have all 3 sitting around. I mean, because all 3 serve their purpose. Like the little soprano you want a sweet little chimey love song to your daughter or whatever. You play
Right.
that. You want a little slightly louder and deeper, more, you're leaning towards a high pitched guitar sound, then you go tenor, and
I think I have a
it's
tenor. That's what I must be thinking. All right. And then what's the third one? The bear
the
or
one in the middle. The middle bear is the concert,
concert one. Okay, cool.
and the
And then
tenors and the concert almost look identical, but the only difference is the tenor's fretboard is a little bit longer. So soloists like it a lot more. People with big fingers like the tenor a little bit more. The
yeah,
concert
gives
is
you
the
that little
main.
wiggle room.
Yeah,
That was always a challenge too. That and with a mandolin, like if you do have pudgy fingers or sometimes weird chords, just kind of smush everything up. But I guess
yeah.
nowadays they make enough different sizes and versions that you can find one that fits. So I guess you've probably gone through quite a few ukuleles, and they're all pretty affordable for the most part.
They're affordable.
How
Even a
many?
really nice ukulele is the same. It costs about the same as a crappy used mandolin. So
Yeah, or like a cheap acoustic guitar or
right,
something.
yeah,
300 or whatever the
yeah.
hell.
So there's so many pros to the ukulele, and that's one of them too. It's like they're not expensive, and they're really not. You can get some really nice ones with really good sounds, and for the fretboards, just feels good. And I get a
Yeah.
lot of people calling me up or texting me saying, "Hey, I want to buy a ukulele for this person and for their, or my kid," and they ask me advice like, "What should I go get?" And my advice is just simple. It's you go down to the store and you go feel it out. It's like trying shoes on. You just can't order a ukulele through the internet, without
Oh
maybe
yeah.
screwing up and going, this is way too tight or something. I want it back. So yeah,
I say or suggest the same thing. Yeah, with any instrument, go down there, see how it feels, get the tone of it. You know what I mean? Plus, like you don't know what the hell happens in the shipping process, and I mean I bought things used, where I really checked out the instrument, but at least I went and jammed it when I got there.
that's right.
Even though you convince yourself, yeah, I'm gonna buy this when you get there or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
how many ukuleles do you think you own or have owned?
I've owned 11. I think I have 9 right now.
And
I think I have 9. I think 2 of those are on loan. Like someone's bumming them.
you've taught ukulele to a few of your children or most of them?
I have never directly taught my kids any music. They've just between the music class that they've been in that really just is all about music participation and learning rounds and not playing an instrument. They were all in music classes since they were 2. Maybe even before that.
Oh wow.
A thing called Music Together. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that. But also, I mean, and they have my influence, but I sit around and play all the time. So I think
They
just the being around and modeling,
right.
they just kind of look at it, they pick it up, and the internet exists,
Right. When
and
kids
kids,
absorb too,
eh,
they're like watching you.
you need a ukulele chord chart, you just type it up and it's on your screen. Everything,
Totally.
all the tools on the internet allow you to just simply pick it up. And so my big kids, especially my son, he just sat around and he learned guitar and ukulele simultaneously just through the internet, just by looking at chord charts and knowing
Wow.
songs already in advance. And he learned. My son Jonah played "Good Riddance" from Green Day, and he was like 6 years old. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty
That's
cool,
awesome.
And that was like 5 years ago. So
That's impressive, man. Well, and that's yeah, cuz and they can like access and know how to get it like that much quicker and that much more familiar with it than us old fogies and whatnot.
I know that's Luddites.
But at the same and being around it, you playing all the time, they're just like absorbing that and watching, listening. It's almost like inherent in a sense. That's
Yeah,
cool though, especially like since you said you kind of started later and now they're starting this early, so it'd be interesting to see where they are, when they get older. That's a trip,
yeah.
man.
And we always want our kids to be better at everything than us. And
Totally.
that was our job to our parents. I'd like to think that I make better food and sing better than my mother and my father, but my parents uh, probably they hope they understood that, and I know my kids are just way ahead of me even now, like in almost everything, reading,
Yeah.
doing school, like they're sharp.
Hopefully that's the point or intention for most parents. You keep evolving with each generation, and it's like,
That's right. That's
not
right.
like, some are so like determined, like, no, we're always smarter than your generation. We never make mistakes. I tell my parents I want to learn from their mistakes, and they're like, mistakes? What the hell are you talking about?
What? You came out all right.
Right, exactly.
I've heard that one a few times. Yeah, that's great.
Now we need a smoke break. We got two JGs and the spirit of Jerry Garcia.
And they're both hard G's.
Hard G's.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
The hard G's. Well, the G can have either a G or a J sound.
Oh, I got a grr.
So we're the G. We're the hard.
Ah, I like
which
that.
I'd prefer.
And we're OGs.
And we're OGs. Cheers.
No, I'm not an OG. You are. Cheers.
I'm not an OG.
I'm a little gangster. No. All right. It's 4:20. Smoking a little extra today.
Probably because we have to build our tolerance.
Shit. We're spoiled. What are you going to do?
All right, we're at 8:54.
Yeah, so what about, oh, no shit. You only got 35 minutes? That's all good. You got 35 minutes?
Yeah, man, we're good.
So, yeah, so what about your correlation with Ganja in music? Do you find it is influencing your songwriting or?
To what music?
Ganja.
Ganja music, huh?
Cannabis and music, or how it inspires you, influences you?
All right, well, yeah, that's pretty much hand in hand, isn't it? Ganja and music is welcome to the table and is always at the table. Always. In fact, there's times when what really happens, especially now in this shelter-in-place morning, or the morning routine during shelter-in-place is waking up. Normally I would go to work. and now I'm not. I mean, not in the traditional sense. And
Right.
So it's the minute, it's just sitting there waiting and looking at me, and probably like in the morning, we're like, all right, and with coffee, I couldn't think of a better, menage a trois.
Oh,
And
I
so-
feel exactly the same way.
And I have intentions of like doing the dishes or reading a book or doing or replying to my students online, or things that you can be doing, grocery shop, whatever. And immediately I just pick up my ukulele and play for like an hour immediately after I smoke. And
yeah.
that's where it takes me. Like but I don't smoke when I perform. I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't
I
even.
mean, I shouldn't, and I don't because
I
it's not the same.
I give myself at least an hour and a half or 2 hours before I won't smoke, because I like to be more sharp while I perform, but of course immediately after I'm smoking. But yeah, I love writing and practicing right after smoking, and it's almost like, yeah, you gotta like get it out of you before you can move on to the next thing.
That's right.
Or what have you. But yeah, and with coffee too. Coffee's great for that. You can still stay productive, but you're almost in this stony sense of mind. Maybe a little multitasking, short attention span sort of thing.
It's almost kind of like, if you can choose the climax of the day to be morning, noon, afternoon or night, we're choosing morning. At least I do. This is I'm partying right now. Like I'll take a nap later and I'll be burdened with responsibilities and all that good stuff. This is the party, wake and party.
Well, it's like some people have a hard time being productive on it, and I'm just like, I feel the opposite. Or people ask me like, how do you do the one-man band doing all these things at once? I'm like, massive amounts of cannabis. That's all I can. I don't know, bro. Just like,
well, it's not booze, booze, that would make sense.
I mean, I'll honestly, that's another thing. I limit myself to like 2-3 beers at most, because I like just like a beer to kind of like liquid courage a little, release the tension. But if too many, I start getting sloppy. I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like pick up your shit and do it. But yeah, cannabis, man. Cheers to that.
Paid performers.
Exactly. Right?
That's right. Well, it's good to be doing this, man. I like this. Is funny how this is an ode to technology and our children who will be our lifelong tech support. You know, if we
Yeah.
stay with them. But technology allows us to do shit like this. You know, this is great.
Feels like we're hanging out in the same room. And,
Yeah.
it's cool. Hopefully, we don't move to where it's always like this, if it depletes human interaction. But it's really great that we can, because obviously we're 4,000 miles away from each other. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
Other sides of the country.
they'll start making these where like I can like scratch your armpit and smell it, you know, like we can get more senses going through like
I'll blow the smoke and you could get a
yeah,
contact.
like ooh, that smells good, you know, or whatever, you know.
Right. That's funny.
The smell
All
of
right.
some food cooking in the kitchen, that'd be nice.
Let's get back into the music a little.
Okay.
So how many like band formations have you had or currently have? I know you do a
Um
trio. I've seen you do 5-piece like for a festival.
yeah, yeah, I was in a four piece band back in the 90s and whatever. That was like rock, you know, bass, guitar and drums. And
Right
then
on. What are you guys called?
when I went, huh?
What are you guys called? Briefly.
We were we were called Handelman Quest.
Handelman
Handelman
Quest. All
Quest.
right. Shout out. All right, keep going.
And then because our name was too difficult to remember, we minimized it to HQ,
Mm.
which and towards the end of our little circus, that was the beginning of the internet boom.
So HQ high quality, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so we disbanded because I married Yoko, and we ended up like you know, that's when I kind of just became a dad like yourself, you know,
Mm.
and
So
focused
does
honed in on that, you know, and the intensity of having the first two or three kids.
right.
And then it was right around then when I started playing ukulele, and then yeah, I did a five man ensemble for about a year to support my second album release.
Oh,
But
cool.
after that, you know, it's hard to keep a band around here, and especially because most people that play bass or drums, um,
They're
they
multi.
play in four bands, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get scheduled ahead of time, like super
Yeah,
ahead of time.
yeah. So I just kind of sat back and I was probably stoned when I thought of this. Um, like let's just get minimize and
Mm.
focus on. And I went to the Kate Wolf Festival for the first time about 6 years ago, and like the one thing that is the denomination amongst all the bands in festivals like that last for 3 days
Mm-hmm.
uh, is harmonies.
Oh
So
yeah.
my songs, the way they've been done on my CDs, there's harmonies. Michael Linder harmonizes and we add some people. So let's make that the focus of
Right.
the live gig, and we'll just go real small acoustic with a couple ukuleles and a bass, and
Mm.
occasionally my kazoo, and and play in small places and just like
That's cool, man.
harmonies, like to be in the middle of a harmony, even especially if you're playing in it, if you're singing in it, is like it feels great, you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
you know it reverberates in a room real well. And I've listened to some great harmonies, you know, aside from what we're doing ourselves, and it's like wow, it's
That's
pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. Especially when you can find the right voices, and it's cool when you first experience it, like recording. You said, and then later to do it in the live effect is like a whole nother thing, like there on the spot. And I think it's cool when you kind of strip down elements and go acoustic, because it exposes more of what you really got. You're kind of like relying on the song, the melody and the words more, as opposed to, I don't know, drum, guitar solo. Or you
Yeah.
think like playing in a full band and coincidentally having kids, starting a family, kind of influence you to go a little acoustic too, and cannabis?
And cannabis, and yeah, getting older,
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
everybody, everything that I listen to nowadays
did you get
is
into more acoustic music?
and then when like my friends are like, yeah, let's listen to some Zeppelin, or let's put on you know whatever, you know, Sublime or anything, that somehow I always end up wanting to hear the acoustic. Like I love Bronny or Stomp, I Led Zeppelin, like all these, just these beautiful Jimmy Page acoustic numbers. are my
Yeah.
favorites. You know, like I don't know, I think I just like acoustic myself personally. It's always you know,
Well,
I could have grown up in Colorado living on the river.
oh hell yeah. Well, I think it's the root of most songs. I mean, most songs are written. That's the first thing written most of the time. I mean, maybe in your in your sense it's ukulele and vocal, but a lot of people acoustic and vocal, or even piano and vocal is acoustic in a sense.
Right.
It's a actual piano. But yeah, that's cool, man. And then it's like again, it probably even force you to improve maybe even your singing because you're like now it's all in the front, and then everyone who's singing with you.
Well, I've never been in a band with harmonies. This is the
Okay.
first time, and it's been
Did you
It's been about 3.5 years,
did you
maybe
sing in
4 years.
HQ or
What's that?
did you sing in HQ or did you just play?
No, I'm talking about playing inside harmonies in the last few
Yeah,
years.
I just meant like in that one there was no harmonies. So did you sing in that one though?
Yeah, I was lead singer.
Oh, right on. Fuck it.
Lead singer, no harmonies.
Okay, so now, yeah, so you're starting to experience that. Like you simultaneously experience that with going acoustic, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And what year did you go to K Wolf? 13 or 14?
The first one I went to was I think 2013 or 14, something like
Okay,
that.
cool. I wonder if
John Prine was the headliner.
oh,
And
I went 2015, I think. Yeah.
You're right. I for some reason I have a funny feel. I think maybe we even saw each other at one of them passing. We're like, hey,
I was working the smoothie thing with Allegro and
Stephanie.
what's her name? Your other Steph. Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah, that was right. Steve Earle was headlining that year. Okay, so but you saw John Prine. Yeah, rest in peace, man. John Prine.
I know it was an amazing show. He had everyone just silenced, and I was like almost in tears. A couple of his songs, like the one in Lydia, I forget. He was, and I'd seen him twice. I saw him with his like 5-piece band, and this one was with just a bass player, a mandolin, and he just played his guitar. Real,
shit.
like we were talking, just a totally chilled down sound. That was to me my favorite compared to the two.
That's like a
Styles of Pride. He just like like you said, the lyrics are out front.
yeah.
Well, those.
Man, in that setting there, you're like outside Northern California. That's just an awesome place to see it. So I would imagine, yeah, John Prine in that acoustic setting. So did he close the last night, the Sunday night?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was it. He was the final.
That's awesome, man.
He didn't.
Yeah. See, I might have liked that slightly better. I love Steve Earle, but John Prine probably would have been a little more chill because they try to do something almost mellow to like on the last day, to kind of like
I mean,
on a.
There's not that many people that you can really say would be better than John Prine for really any setting, period.
That's a good point. I saw John Prine at Hardly Strictly. That's a whole nother experience, but yeah, and Steve Earle played mandolin with him, so that was pretty dope.
Nice.
Hell yeah. What the shit? All right, so as an album, how many albums have you guys put out?
I've put out 2.
And this is as the acoustic, harmonious.
Yep, harmonious mandolins, swirling mandolins, instruments coming in and out. Just it's really just kind of nice songs that I made.
Hell yeah.
With really well produced by Michael Lindner, who lives up in Healdsburg, California, and he has his little granny unit turned into a pro style studio. And he's a local guy, runs open mics, and we just really, our chemistry worked really well. He plays bass and does harmonies, and I play ukulele and I sing melody. So it just, there was bounce. He added to the bounce, and that always makes your music sound better. And so I put out a first album in 2012.
Oh, right.
And it's when you hear your music transformed into something pro style, the stuff that you kind of like listen to as a kid, when you put it in on a nice system, like when you're driving and it just bounces out at you like a really good. Like it's like, wow, that's my music finally. Like I'd never been able to capture that for years. It's trying to record different settings and stuff.
It's like a process getting there in your head. Like you want to get there, and then you get it.
And it snowballed into the enthusiasm of making a second one. And so I made one. We were recording immediately after we were done with the first.
And what was that one? Was 2014?
2015.
I think that was it was shortly after I moved there. That's Hump.
Hump.
Yeah, dope, man. I like that one. Well, I think I probably heard the first one too, but that was just coming out when I was there,
Yeah,
and I was like, hell
well,
yeah.
Michael. The story here also with Hump is it's very interesting, and we made the first album with no drum, no there's no drum sounds except for an occasional bass in one of the songs, a bass hit. No, zero, it bounces on the bass.
Yeah.
Uh, but Michael in 2015 did something differently because in late 2014 we were 12 out of the 13 songs were recorded and ready to go. We were on the latter stages of making this CD project, the second one, and that's when Jasper passed, and we lost
Oh,
Jasper. And so when something like that happens, kind of like the shelter place, everything just on stop, like it's on
right.
hold, like. And he expresses condolences, like that. And about 3 weeks later, he sent me a bunch of these songs on MP3 through email, and they all had drums on them. He
Whoa.
added just like real like pro style drums,
And
not Alex Van Halen style drums, but still, like
he played them.
Charlie Watts-ish. And he did it, and he basically brought Hump, the Hump album, from an acoustic one to a
No
more
shit.
just upbeat
And
with
so,
hard percussion, like we all know, and that's what
huh?
you've heard, so.
So you were happy, obviously, with the outcome of it.
Oh, I was,
Your
yeah,
your mind was blown, and he played the drums himself.
he did.
Oh, crazy.
He plays about 10 to 12 instruments per album.
Okay, so I was just gonna ask, did you? So is he the main player, and then did you have any other like other players or vocalists
Yeah, we
record
brought
other
in some
parts?
people. We brought in mandolin and guitar, and people that are really really good at what they do. Bill Herberty locally, and I don't know if you remember Bill.
Oh yeah, he's played with me at Jasper's.
Yeah,
Jasper
full
Prentice.
playing
Yep.
Bill. He plays on almost most of those tracks, guitar and mandolin. The sweet
Dope.
sound mandolin, that's all him.
He's
Uh,
badass, man.
yeah, and a couple other people
Right on.
local. So.
And are any of the people that you still play with live or?
It's just me and
Not
Michael and Carissa. Carissa Green is someone who she's also a ukulele player. And so we just, the universe just bumped us together in the AFC, and we both hit it off as friends. And we put together like a ukulele festival locally and stuff. And she took a real liking to the Hump album. I remember she would text and call randomly, like, like, what's up with this lyric here? And, like,
no shit.
and as a friend, I was like, all right, sure. I would, I'd let her in. And eventually we started playing together, and she knows how to harmonize, and she loves the songs. And like, anybody that is going to play in your music, if they love your songs,
Yeah.
then you're not it's not like a hired hand kind of feel. It's like someone that really wants to sing your songs. It's like that
Yeah.
feels great. And so she picked up, and she and Michael and I, we've been playing together for almost 4 years now, and it's we're like best friends. It's fun
That's
to have
dope.
that, and it's so simple. It's 3 people, and we usually meet by day. We have the same kind of hours off, so it worked out really well. And they're good people, and furthermore, they we
They
got
enjoy it.
swirling harmonies.
Hell yeah. And everyone's enjoying what they're doing. So the
Yeah,
instrumentation is Michael on bass, and then she's on acoustic?
she
Or
plays the banjolele,
oh,
and
okay, yeah, I've seen that.
she plays a clawhammer style opposite of my rhythm, and I'm
Oh,
playing
no
my tenor.
dope.
So it just got kind of a it's got a cool little chop to it, and she took that upon herself to learn. When I first met Carissa, she's like, "Yeah, I'm messing with the claw hammer," and I gave her my banjolele, and she went and put a pickup on it, and she took it she took the loan to heart, and she went to
Oh,
town.
that's dope, man.
And she kind of has she now we kind of share custody of this banjolele, but
Took it to another level.
she's made the property better, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope. So you guys just go by JG Trio, Jon
We go
Gonzales?
by the Jon Gonzales trio or the JG trio. I wish we had. I'd rather be a band with a real name instead of my name. That it just ended
Yeah.
up kind of working out because I didn't, you know, my CDs are my name. They're solo projects, and so I don't know.
It's kind of like that's what you're promoting. And honestly, I ended up doing it because I had too many other band names. I'm like, I can't just keep new formation of players. Like, God damn it.
I have so many band names and not enough bands to be in. And of all things, I never even really even used any in my band. I always wanted to be in a band name called the Inhalers.
That'd be dope.
You know, going back to my favorite president, Bill Clinton, and his I did not inhale kind of thing. Right. I want to be an inhaler.
Now that's old school. That's dated reference right there. Cheers to that. Am I on a coffee yet? Nope, not quite. All right. So what's future projects, or what you guys put out a couple music videos for what you already have, right?
We made a few videos. Some people made a couple of videos of us playing live at certain places that do it well.
Cool.
You go play at the Shinaki Pub in Willits, and the
Shinaki or Shinachi?
The bartender, I'm spacing on her name. She puts her really nice camera down and videos the whole thing, and then she'll send you like one or two pictures, and they're kind of like up, so you look like this in the video, and it's
cool angle,
cool. And we owe it to people like that who do that and move things around, and you can with decent quality, it makes it real nice to share music.
Well, yeah, and what you can do with technology nowadays, man, like what you can capture with a smartphone camera or what have you, you make it look good, but
yeah.
So yeah, is there a future project for the trio you've been playing with so long? You guys gonna are there albums or songs coming together, I should say?
Right. Well, we'll see that. That's like that's a little meeting that we have to have because I still aside from playing with my two people, when it comes to making a project album wise, you like to reach out to other musicians and even other singers and stuff like that, just for project's sake. But of course, I'm there. You obviously Bruce Springsteen and Tom Waits. They did something that I always thought was kind of awkward and cool. Is releasing two albums at once.
What was this?
He did it back in like the early '90s, and Tom Waits did it with Alice and in the mid 2000s, and so that's kind of my plan. But
give them two different sides of you, sort of thing. Give people like two different sides of you, like they're different styles.
It's two different concepts.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of them's going to be kind of like a hymnal for in honor of my late son. And the other album is going to be more of kind of what I've been doing, which is, slightly satirical adult material with acoustic, ukulele, kind of like just kind of what I've been doing. So
yeah, I totally
the two.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I totally get that.
And have twins.
Yeah. So any plans when this might be released, or are you like, do you record songs like sporadically or
no? I'm just writing them down and messing around with them, especially nowadays, just sitting with the paper and the pencil. And I've had some written for a couple of years, and some are still like half written, and the process it's just it's a continual mold. But the lousy part about it is right now I would love to be recording those, but it's like it's not happening. This is the ideal time.
You should just get like a simple voice recorder app on your phone or something, because like I do that for ideas all the time instead of writing it. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's lazier, but
I'm a Luddite, and plus I like not having to deal with that stuff.
Okay,
that's my little comfort zone boundary, I guess. Like my one of my favorite parts about recording is collaborating with someone.
I feel you.
And
maybe like you don't actually hear it come back till you get to the place of the studio, instead of hearing like demos.
I'm gonna be the one that sings and plays chords and remembers the words and really focuses on the timing of the sound that's coming out of my how I'm playing it, and let someone else who's much better at it
right on
take care of my she.
So but there's no shortage of new material.
No.
You always got something brewing, and
there yes and no. I mean, right now the shelter in place is allowing me to really I'm writing again. But
Yeah.
for I would say for about 3 or 4 years, and it's a trip. It was after my son passed away in 2014, and I remember a bunch of people. People they do their best to say good things in a time like that. You can't really say much when uh, someone's child passes away. Other
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no words, whatever. But
Right.
but some people, they do their best and they offer like condoling advice, and a lot of people were like, wow, you're not gonna have a shortage of anything to write about. Like you're probably gonna, at least you're gonna like probably write some really good songs, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, it was the absolute opposite, Jacob. It is like, like what's the point? That
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
really had a couple ideas, and it was lack of motivation. and,
Yeah, no,
and,
I mean,
and
I can I mean, I can't understand fully, but yeah, like sometimes something traumatic or that intense can almost, it has the opposite effect, or you almost feel like you can't do something justice. That's what you know what I'm saying? It's almost like puts things in a whole nother perspective, just to say
right,
the least, obviously. You know what I
right.
mean? But
Well,
so you say it kind of slowly came back though, as far as writing, it just kind of like
um, I don't. I guess. I don't know. I
never
think a
really
little bit
went
also
away.
has to do with, like, there's even kind of a sports psychology kind of feel to it. Like, like you're hungry when you don't have the title,
Mm,
you play harder, blah blah blah, and then when you finally win the title, or you get the award, or you get what you accomplish your goal, then
right.
that's it. Your desire immediately lets up, and therefore affects your performance, whatever.
Totally, totally.
And it kind of felt like I've released. I have a couple CDs. I have a couple albums that I really really like, and are able to host a live show, along with a few cover songs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and as much as I want to play new stuff and all that stuff, I just think that there's the motivation for number three is just like it's waning. So yeah,
Oh.
those two albums will be put out in about 2047.
Well,
But
when they
they'll
come
come out
out, they'll come
together
out
on the same
together.
day.
Oh shit! Damn it! I gotta get a bootleg copy, man. Come on. What
Right.
the fuck? All right. So in the future, we just don't know when, but that's all good.
No, no, but I can show you my little list. I mean, I have a pile of songs that are just they're 3/4 done, or have
Yeah.
two lines down and the ideas there, or chord
We,
progressions, but pieced up lyrics.
do you ever do like when you go to the studio, like you have one of those songs and you're just so confident about it, you're like, I'll get it done when we start recording, and you just like finish that part you always wanted to finish. Like, yeah, I don't know. I've done that once or twice, but not too many
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah. I just know that
The
for me,
confidence.
when it comes to making songs, and maybe you can relate to this, is I I I, I have to really be honest with myself and take the focus on. I have to take the focus off of making a CD and how it's going to come out live later. Like that, I just my focus needs to be much more primal and kind of almost down to what it was when I was first learning, and that was just literally sitting around and entertaining yourself with your
Mm,
craft, and,
right.
and that being good enough. I mean, obviously, we don't have that much of a choice right now with the shelter in place, but
Yes.
it kind of brings it back down to that. That just I think U2 has the lyric. I'm just trying to find a decent melody to sing in my own company. Like it's
Yeah.
and so when that's kind of the day to day or the daily or the motivation or the goal, then I find more creativity swirls in that little inner atmosphere, as opposed to thinking like, oh, I need to write a three chord, uh,
Mm.
three verse, three chorus song that people can
Yeah.
sing to while they're drinking martinis, at the bar, like.
That's not how
So
it works. So it just kind of comes out naturally in a sense of
yeah,
when you have the inspiration for it
yeah.
and what have you.
I'm having fun doing cover songs.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that the ukulele kind of promotes.
Put a spin on them with the.
You can take any song and you play it on ukulele, and it becomes its own rendition.
Yeah, most definitely. You can definitely do your own take on it and make it. So many different ways you can go with it. With the ukulele.
Yeah.
So that's cool, and then it's a stand-up bass too, right? Or both?
That Michael plays.
Yeah.
He goes back and forth.
Dope.
It depends on the venue, or it depends on if his shoulder hurts. He's 72 years. He's 71 years old. Our bassist Michael.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's a champ because he still plays in four bands, and he doesn't. He's not oohing and ahhing. He's like a young man in a 71-year-old body, just playing bass 3 hours per night. And doing it. And bless his wife, for letting him do it. He has like 13 or 14 basses and some really, really nice ones. And so he'll go regular style, not stand up. I think because he likes to kind of like showing off your Hot Wheels when you were a kid,
for sure.
Show off his basses. He's got some sweet ones,
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think again it comes back to like you're saying, like almost primal. You have to almost think of like, what would you want to hear? You want to be a fan of what you want to play, whether if it's some original or covers. Like you're like, would I get into this if I was watching this sort of thing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and like Andrew was saying with the going to acoustic and the harmonious thing, you're like stripping it down. So like, again, you're almost naked in the sense of like this is the raw version of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, raw
acoustic. I like acoustic. I love acoustic music. I mean, I was on acoustic music tip for like a decade, basically. I kind of still am, but I like going back and forth. But I totally understand. It's almost like a younger mentality of rocking out electric or something. Like, I don't know.
My son has he's hit that phase. He's 14 years old. He has a guitar, an electric guitar. I got him one for free on Facebook. You just like you put your ad. You're like, I need one, and someone always comes through, and he's getting complaints from his mother. He's that kid, in the Twisted Sister video that's just like, I want to rock, and just like, and he just blasts the house, and there's like little girls that live with his sisters, and part of me is like, oh, that's too bad for everyone else. But then there's that inner me like, dude, my son's a rocker. So now he's going for the electric sound.
Well, it's almost even doper that because he has the influence of you being acoustic guy, and he's like, no, I want to fucking rock still. And it's definitely, dude, that's like the perfect. That's when I got my first electric. I was 14 years old. So that's like perfect age. A lot of people get the first electric at that age.
Yeah.
And get into that style of music, whatever it may be, of electric rock. But, it is what it is. And there's always acoustic versions of everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an acoustic kind of guy, all that stuff. But when I was 13 years old, my first concert was Rat.
Oh, no shit. Hell yeah. Wow.
And it was loud 80s. And it was clean and they rocked it and
fucking fast.
I bought my shirt, had my black shirt. I wore it every day in middle school. It's like, dude, I went to Rat.
Man, fuck yeah.
And now awesome. I play ukulele, so.
You should cover a Rat song. I don't know what their most popular one was. But...
Wanted Man.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah. I know that one. Yeah, do you have any like major acoustic influences? You mentioned like Vedder.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to call like Bob Dylan acoustic, like
hell yeah.
Here's my acoustic favorites: Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Paul Simon. But lately, I would say in the last couple of years, and I think a lot of it also has to do with phases in your life. Like, I went through a divorce. I moved away from my family. We're still close. We're proximate. But just that whole transformation of new life kind of stuff came a really attentive listening to Gregory Alan Isaacoff, a local guy around here called BC Fitzpatrick, another local guy around here named Daniel Steinbach, Tom Waits, uh,
Dope. He's
and
local.
I feel like I'm, even Nora Jones, like just like
Oh
searching out for
yeah.
the slow, lonely, melodic song that like that just caresses you in the night.
Yeah, yeah.
Just mellowing you out, like
You ever get in?
and assuaging your pain and all that stuff, and matching it in a sense musically.
Yeah.
So now it's affecting my own songwriting. Like I'm sitting around and I'm giving myself the green light to just like play these eerily slow church type songs with
Dope.
minors and all this stuff. So that's
You
the
ever
acoustic right now in
you
Jon
ever
Gonzalez's Death Row
you ever
Records life right now.
you ever get into like what is this? Oh, like Bon Iver or anything like that kind of
I gave
melancholy.
Bon
It's
Iver a
almost
couple listens to, but my
certain albums
girlfriend at
that
the
are.
time couldn't handle his voice.
Oh shit.
So,
At the time, it wasn't.
so
Oh wait. So briefly, I told. Why did I forget this? Where did the fucking kazoo playing come from? This is a major part of your sound too, which you don't always hear with the ukulele, definitely. But you've been doing those kazoo solos out the wazoo.
well, playing the kazoo had a lot to do with the condensing of going from a 5-piece to a 3-piece. Because once we
Okay.
became a 3-piece as a band, nobody soloed. Like Carissa knows how to play clawhammer
Right.
and all these things, but we're lacking. And I don't play solo. Like
Right.
I know my chords up and down, but I like I said, I accompany my voice, and that's my thing. And
Yeah.
so I've always had a soloist in my little different
Uh,
I've always played with, and we
yeah.
didn't have one. So at the time, I remember like, well, duh, I have my kazoo holder that I play for like one or two songs. Well, it's like let's rev it up and play it for like anytime there's a solo. And
Dope.
and I also my favorite era of all time listening to music, what influenced me the most was the early 80s. And so in the early 80s you had a huge range of types of solos and types of songs,
Mm-hmm.
synth, whatever, but the one thing about 80s songs is a lot of them had sax solos. And so the kazoo
Mm,
is a little junior sax. So you can
totally.
take like Man Eater, you can take Modern Love from David Bowie. You can take all these songs. I'm Still Standing by uh,
Yeah.
Elton John, and they
Oh,
have these sax solos or guitar solos or synth solos, and you match it with the kazoo, and voila, you have your version of a song that people dig, and you play it at a bar and they love it. Like, but the
that's
kazoo, you got to
awesome.
watch it because people have a love-hate relationship with that thing. Because
Yeah.
if you don't play it well, if you're a little bit off pitch, or if whatever, if someone's too close to it,
Yep.
then it can cause problems with the brain, all that stuff. I've gotten some. I was
Like,
playing a gig one time in the afternoon. It was a little pub gig for happy hour, and I was being tipped well, and it was fun. We were having a great time. We were vibing. I had a beer, all that stuff,
yeah.
and this lady walks up and puts something in, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not a bill. That's like a note." And she was, like moderately attractive, and I was like, "All right, well." And that,
See
that
what it
must be some
says.
love note, and after I'm done, I'm going through my tips, and I look at it. She says, "The harmonica sounds great. Lose the kazoo." And I was like, "Whoa!" And it was
Whoa.
funny because I was being complimented by other people about the kazoo, on the same gig. But
Yeah.
it's some people.
It's a matter. It's kazoo's not for everyone, definitely. I only do it on the one. What is it? The SF Bay Blues. That popular
Right.
kazoo solo, whatever. That's probably. I used to do it on another one, but yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. And I've found that certain kazoos, like they don't all hum the right way, or you got to find like the right ones for your pitch or whatever. I feel
You got
like,
to
but
find the right
how
ones, and
how
and
how
I get
often you
mine. I get mine quarantined from South Carolina.
what's the brand on that? Your kazoo.
Kazoo.com.
Nice.
Kazoo.com.
So how
And,
quickly you go through the wax paper with the
I
amount of
don't know.
kazoos you play?
Let me grab it real fast, okay?
All right.
This thing here is
Oh
I've
shit.
been playing, knock on wood. I've been playing this thing for almost 2.5 years. This one kazoo, same flypaper, everything. It's like it's grain
What?
fitted a couple times. all that stuff. It's survived, and this is from South Carolina. I'm in California,
Whoa.
um, and it's just the perfect. It's the perfect sound. It never fails. It's never too light. It's never too much. Because you're right. You can go to a music store and never find the kazoo that suits your what
Yeah.
you want to hear.
Well, it's like I play nothing but Hohner harmonicas, and I got a Hohner kazoo, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
What is this?
yeah.
Like, what
Don't
are they
do
doing?
yeah. No horn. They're not good on kazoos, man. You gotta go to South Carolina. You gotta fish around.
Well, then I got this almost like it was, expensive for a kazoo, and it was one of those old school metal ones, and I didn't like it either. And it's like, I couldn't play it until I bought it. And I was like, whatever. It's like $8.
You gotta kind of
$8.
commit to it.
Right. Usually they're only $1. So will you order like a dozen at a time or something?
Yeah, it ends up being about the ones I have end up being about 57 cents, and I buy like 400 of them at a time.
Oh, no shit.
Because
That's
I also they have. Let me see if you can catch this here. They also have my. Where's my camera? Here we go. They have my website.
Oh, dope.
So they're promotionals.
Hell
And
yeah. So you can give them.
You leave them out, or you give them to people as they're leaving. And, of course, they tip you better when you do that. And they leave with a kazoo.
And you'll get people to join in and play with you sometimes too, right?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes that could be one of the worst things besides our presidency right now is a bunch of people in our plant just humming kazoos together,
trying to go with the song, and it just
it's
got to be the last song. It's got to be.
Bad. But there's been a couple times where I was playing like Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. You can feel.
Oh yeah.
I was kazooing that song the whole way through. And some lady came up and picked it up and on perfect harmony just like started doing that song with me with a kazoo.
Oh no shit.
And the whole like it was like a little barbecue going on at the time. The whole place just like turned around and it was jamming and it was mainly because this woman knew how to play a kazoo and also knew the harmony at the same time and knew Stevie Wonder's.
Right. Probably was a good singer of
probably had more up her sleeve.
Right. That's dope. Then other times you get 5 people playing off beat, off tune, off.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
But my gig lately has been solo. So I've been playing with my trio, but I would say in the last year especially, I'm catering my rig to solo, and a lot of it has to do with, this, you play solo gigs, you inherit the money as opposed to paying, only getting some of it, but also the freedom to do lots of different songs. And the ukulele and the kazoo is something you don't see very often.
Right.
Like, it's not just a guitar player sitting there singing. It's in some people it's very novel. And
it's definitely original in its own right, for sure.
A little bit.
Well, it's a unique sound, because I guess if someone just singing acoustic guitar, even acoustic with harmonica is more common. Definitely kazoo and ukulele is not as common. So I think it's dope. I always like the sound. And I think I saw you, weren't you like a full band Rivertown Revival? I think I saw you. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was when the sound was cutting out every song.
Oh shit, that's right. That sucked. 2014.
Yeah, that was like 14 or 15. It was that was fun because we had just introduced our drummer that very gig, and halfway through every single song, the sound cut out.
You guys just kept jamming though.
We were trying to put on a gig that we rehearsed, and people were like, they were going to the next stage because we did a full song.
Damn, get your sound right. Festivals, jeez.
That's all right. It happens.
I think it was still a great. A lot of the people who still were trying to get into it because they almost were like, "Man, these guys are awesome." But so it was just like, when your speakers cut out in your car and it comes back off and on, whatever.
Yeah. Part of the musical education is learning. I mean, it's a sharp curve for me, but like when I go to a gig nowadays, like I make sure I have an extra ukulele ready to go or batteries. Or
for sure.
For every extra one of everything that you need, you have an extra in case. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I'd like so many gigs I had to abort because I didn't
learn that shit the hard way, man.
or I didn't have an extra string, and now we're screwed. Like,
Right.
so it's that's one thing that if I would ever like will upon young kids, that are musicians that are learning at age, my kids' age and their teens, is like when you take your gig on the road and prepare, put it out there to have backups, man.
Hell yeah. And most music stores are closed before the venue opens or before
That's
your show
right.
starts. Before your show. Because I remember trying to fucking get something from People's Music. Well, I had to play a gig at Jasper's.
Yeah.
I just fucking missed them because it probably started at 7. They close at 6:30 or something.
What are you gonna do? That's when you have to rely on the community. You start making phone calls. I might have a friend that has a friend that has a chord.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shit, you gotta hit it or?
It's 9:38.
So yeah.
I gotta hit it in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm having fun time.
Yeah. So what else you wanna put out into the universe, or what do you think's the future?
I think that's kind of it. I mean, I don't know if you do like find my stuff on Facebook, YouTube.
Blah, for sure.
It's all the same stuff as anyone else.
Where can you find Jon Gonzales on the interwebs?
You can find him on jongonzales.com, baby. And it ends
with
no H. It's no H. My first name is not biblical. But what a trip is, my dad is actually John and I'm Jon. And that was his idea. So it was one of those same but different things.
That's cool.
He didn't want me to be a junior, but he still took on his name. So I thought that was kind of cool. I have a son named Jonah to continue that little tradition, because Jonah is a form of John also. And my last name ends with an S, which going back to Ancestry.com is Spanish. The Mexican version of Gonzalez ends with a Z. So John, no H, Gonzalez, no Z, put an S in there, .com. And you dig it the most.
And then on all the Facebooks and Instagram,
all this stuff on the web, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. I paid the extra money to get my stuff distributed digitally, like some people do. Like you pay the extra $50-$60 when you put an album out, and it ends up everywhere. So you go to any platform, you type in my name, it shows up.
Get those big royalty streams for like $1 a month or something.
Yeah.
Shit, cool.
I think I got $24 in 4 months. And it's all 1 cent, 1 to 4 cents, 1 cent, 3 cent, 2 cent, 4 cent, 1 cent.
Yeah, some of them are as low as 1/10 of a cent per stream or something. I don't even know.
Something.
What are you gonna do?
It buys a couple beers.
Yeah, there you go. Beer should be free anyways. Damn it,
I know.
We're thirsty, man. Come on.
Well, during this shelter in place, I haven't had a drink. Like I used to drink. Two drinks, go to a gig, 2 drinks, go out and see a friend, 2 drinks, whatever. And now I'm here. It's like I'm just smoking. It's all weed.
I'm the same way. I never drink alone, really. It's always just a social thing. And
I
definitely smoke alone. And like you said, coffee and cannabis, some of my favorite. But
smoking all day long, every day.
Hell yeah. Staying productive.
And happy 420, man.
You too, brother. If you want to wrap it up, anything else you want to say?
No, everyone just, have a great time. Enjoy yourselves indoors and grab a ukulele, tune it.
Tune that shit up.
You can get tuning apps. Just, dun, 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 dun. So grab a ukulele. If you haven't done that by now, and the one thing that's interesting about the shelter in place is what I'm gathering is more people are taking the ukulele right now than ever.
Yeah. Well, I think people were hopefully kind of, just going to art in general more, doing more creative things now that they actually have the time to, I'm actually just catching up on a bunch of stuff that I already wanted to do. And it's just like, well, fuck it. Got all the time in the world. Aside from being a dad, obviously. But.
Yeah, man. I hear you. There we go. I finally got to this thing. I've been looking at this thing for 15 years.
That's your notebook?
This
is a book.
It's a book, man.
World Without End. Oh, dope. Oh, right on.
And I never would do this in the normal day rat race.
How long is that thing?
It's 1,100, more or less.
Whew. How far you got?
250.
Damn, dude. Putting it down.
But that's been I've been reading it for 4 weeks, so that's like an average of like 3 pages a day.
Still not bad.
Not bad.
Right.
I'm stoned anyway when I'm trying to read. That's probably why.
You got to reread it. Like, oh shit.
It
must be intriguing enough if you've made it that far.
You read like three lines, and then you look out the window and think about it for 10 minutes.
Then you're like, wait a second, what did he really mean? Like, I always had that problem. Yeah, like I'm like reading something, but I'm not actually like gathering it. It's just almost like, I don't know. I do that in school all the time. You're like memorizing something, but you don't actually know what it is. Who knows? Stoniness. Happy 420.
Happy 420.
Yeah, thanks for being on the podcast. Appreciate it, man. It's good.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I'll let you know when it's going to come out. Maybe, hopefully, by the time it comes out, maybe we're not quarantined. Who knows? At this rate,
who knows? I mean,
crazy.
I don't mind sleeping in every day.
Yeah. Right.
I don't do.
I don't sleep in. I got a 2.5-year-old, but still. But thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good talking to you. I'll talk to you in the near future.
Peace,
Amen.
Man. Ciao.